also the map looking very August-like with the tropics really coming to life. And that's where we start this morning. So we have a high potential here of a tropical depression forming over the next couple days. We'll start with a nice shot out of St. Joseph, Barbados. No threat right now. Some clouds on the cameras. We're getting ready for sunrise. But we have an invest that is Invest 97L, which is right off the coast of Africa, churning its way through the Atlantic. And this one looks like it's going to be our first big storm of the season. The question is, when does it happen and where does it go?
Those are big questions that everybody wants to know. And the thing is, Britta, is we really only have about 4 days, I would say, of concrete data. And then beyond that 4-day window, that's where all the question marks come in. But the good thing is we have high confidence that we'll continue to move across the MDR. So if you live in spots like the Caribbean, it just bears watching, although you can see kind of where the NHC has highlighted that 90% chance of development. The overall trend has been just north of the Lesser Antilles. Yes,
and we do have another invest on the map, but that one's just not going to do anything. So we don't have to worry about it too much, but it is on the map nonetheless. Here's a look at the timeline, just to sort of give you a little bit of a breather, because, of course, it's the first one. It's getting a lot of chatter on social media, so there might be some anxiety on a Monday morning. Anything that comes off the coast of Africa, we're talking about 10-plus days. So we got a lot of time to watch this, and keep in mind we don't even have a formed storm just yet. With that said, 70% odds over the next 2 days, 90% chances over the next 7. So again, this is anticipated to become a tropical depression very soon, and eventually it will get the name Erin. So the sun is up off the coast of Africa, so we do have our visible satellite on hand. We're starting to see those thunderstorms develop, but also we have a little bit of dry air around this system. It's only going to be a hindrance for a very short amount of time.
Well, it's so interesting. The second that this merged off the coast of Africa, it already looked like a
really healthy
together system, not necessarily organized. And we're seeing that organization go so quickly. And it was over the weekend where we went from low odds over the 2-day period to now up into that high range category. So just highlighting the fact that this thing is gathering itself a decent amount of moisture that's already contained in its overall system. And we also had wind reports of around 30 to 35 knots. So it's close to tropical depression, but you need it to form around that entire closed low. Just haven't seen that quite yet.
Exactly. The organization we're waiting for. Now, we do have a little pocket of moisture around the thunderstorms itself, and that kind of pushes against the dry air. So we're starting to see that visible on data, and that's definitely showing us that this is a system that's getting a little more put together. There's a look at those water temperatures again, still kind of holding on to the 70s where we're at. We're looking for that 80-degree marker, but that is in the future. So we are anticipating this to grow.
Well, let's talk about what we can expect in the short term from this. So high confidence that it's going to be moving to the north of the Caribbean, or at least get into the vicinity. But a lot of people want to know, is this going to impact the United States? And unfortunately, that's just too far out to say anything for sure. Although the model consensus has been that it will get pulled north just before the Atlantic basin, or just before we get to the Atlantic coastline, rather. What's happening, though, is we have two separate high pressure systems, one, the Bermuda high, and then a separate high that's sort of lingering over the southeast coast. Depending upon where those highs meander, will open up a pocket or not for this system to either turn north or to head continuously south. But what we do know so far is that the overall pattern is that we have a strong Bermuda high that's in place, and we'll keep it on this westward trajectory.
Yeah, what it's going to look for is kind of the easy way out, as I call it. So a weakness can form between this ridge of high pressure, and that allows for an easy gateway. And that's typically the pattern and the steering that we follow with big tropical systems. So we are expecting this to take that curve up to the north. The question is, when does that turn occur? Is it enough to keep this off the East Coast, or is it close enough that we're talking about U.S. impacts? And that's the part of the story that we still need more time. We need more time. Again, once we actually have a storm form, that's really the baseline. Yeah. It's hard to tell the end point when you don't actually have the beginning point. But here's a look at some computer model runs. Every one of those red L's is a solution of where this could be. So if you mark one side to the other side, you're talking about almost 1,000-mile spread. That's a big difference, and that's because we're so early on in the game. But because of computer model data being so readily available, folks, this is all over social media. So we are your trusted source here at Fox Weather. We'll give you the latest, so stay with us. Don't fall for any single grab of a computer model run that's going to freak you out, because we get computer model runs every 6 hours, and there's countless amounts of computer model data to be looking at. So here's a look at the setup, though. I mean, as we move through the end of this week, all the conditions will be primed for this tropical wave. So again, we are anticipating this to become Aaron. We are anticipating this to become a hurricane. The question is, how far off the East Coast is it? Is it a problem for Bermuda? Is it something that we have to look out for the East Coast? And it's honestly just too early to tell you. So it is one to watch very closely.
Yeah, a stronger storm as it gets closer to the Caribbean would mean it gets pulled further to the north and more influenced by the upper level patterns. A weaker storm continues its trek a little further out towards the west and potentially impacting the Bahamas. But at this point, it does seem like the trend would be for a stronger storm at this point.